We learned from Stobæ Hermetica 2 in our session on Hermetic epistemology that there is no truth upon the earth. It's a radical statement, but it's still a far cry from saying that there's nothing good on earth. Other Hermetic tractates clearly say that the world is a manifestation of good because it's a manifestation of God who is good, even if it's true that the good is only in God alone. Since God is in the world, and even is the world or the totality, then the world too must be good. But this is not what Corpus Hermeticum 6 says. It says that the world is a plenitude of vice, or in Greek, a pleroma of vice. It says that the world is full of sufferings and diseases. The Greek word for suffering and disease is the same. It is pathos, typically translated by passion, and it expresses any kind of experience of disruption or perturbation involving our lack of control and a resulting negative emotion. I dare say that most experiences of human life involve passions. Just look at toddlers. When they cannot figure out how to play with a toy, or can't climb up onto a chair, or see something over their height, they experience a rush of negative emotions. And often they have no words to express these powerful emotions. Adults can control their violent affect under a poker face, but the truth is, our emotions still flare up whenever we're cut off on the road, or someone cuts in line ahead of us, or we see someone flaunt their wealth. It seems that only a purist, not a hermetist, would say that where there is passion, there is no goodness. After all, the world is a compact mixture of what is good and bad. As Homer said, 2 jars stand at the feet of Zeus, one full of evils, the other of goods. But if we're talking about goodness in its purity, then yes, pure goodness can accept no passion. And the only place where there is truly no passion is God. This insight is Platonic to the core, as is the idea that God is pure beauty. And I think that this unstated premise is really the key to the tractate. Goodness in reference to God means pure goodness, and pure goodness is God's alone. There is goodness on earth, but it is relative goodness, a goodness mixed with passion. Thus, when the Hermetist says that there is nothing good on earth, he means there's nothing purely good. It is deliberate imprecision and exaggeration used to wake people up from their noetic slumber. People assume that their goods can be found on earth without ever opening the eyes of their heart. These people need a stern warning. There is no good on earth, no pure good. Only God is purely good. In fact, Jesus reportedly said the same, according to Mark 10:18. Of course, the Hermetist admits what Platonists also admitted, that the world can be good by participating in the good. And the key place to see the world's goodness is the world's innate ability to create or to generate. Admittedly, the world is not good insofar as it is the maker of passions and subject itself to passion. What we tend to call good down here is only the least bad among other things. For example, it's bad when people steal a house. But when there's an economic system that makes buying a house too difficult for most people, that's still considered good, since in theory everyone at least has a chance to buy, but in practice many people can never save enough to make buying a house affordable. In part, this is a problem of perception. The normal human eyes are not designed to see pure good or beauty. The Hermetic author does not mention the eyes of the heart or nous, because he assumes that he is talking to non-noetic people who have no nous, and whose internal eyes are closed to contemplation. Is there a contradiction here? One cannot see God, and yet one can noetize God by seeing the beautiful and the good which is super-illumined by God. Obviously, this Hermetic author knows more than he's saying. God can be seen in the world, but only to those with eyes to see. To wake people up, our Hermetist uses a purist logic. Good mixed with bad is no longer good, and when it does not remain good, even the good is bad. So there's plain deceit and self-deceit all over the world. but chiefly among non-noetic people. Only these sorts of people call the lesser evils on earth goods. Only non-noetic humans do not see good even in their dreams and are deprived of the good because they embrace evil as good. Only non-noetic people cannot rid themselves of the evils we suppose are good, but they even want to increase these so-called goods and they fear losing them. They are like people addicted to sleep medication, but afraid to stop using it because they fear insomnia as a greater evil. I think we can call Corpus Hermeticum 6 pessimistic, but not dualistic. Dualism would deny that the world cannot participate in the good, but it can in fact share God's goodness. The Hermetic author is being pessimistic and imprecise intentionally to convert those people who are deceived into thinking that only things on earth are good. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Pure good is in God alone. Thus, Corpus Hermeticum 6 seems to have the same missionary intent as does the following tractate, number 7, and the mini sermon at the end of Corpus Hermeticum 1, to wake up drunk and drowsy people to the truth about divine goodness. These are the non-initiates, and to them there is a different message, whereas those on the path of initiation do gain the eyes to see God's goodness shining in and through the world of matter. For these people, the cosmotheism of Corpus Hermeticum 5 and 11 makes better sense, and they're ready to receive this teaching. But it seems that first we need a bit of pessimism about the world and the mortal flesh in order to see and to focus our minds on the better goods. In the end, this pessimism is mitigated and fairly isolated, and it soon falls away on the Hermetic path of gnosis. The purpose is the same in all of these tractates, whether they are pessimistic or optimistic, to attain gnosis with reverence or devotion.